Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hey there.
Dennis.
Good evening, all.
Hey, Jim.
Jim, how's my audio? I've been having problems with my audio.
Not very good.
Now, in.
You're saying it's not very good?
It's a little scratchy and the volume's a little low.
No, you
Okay.
stay in here.
I'll go play with settings.
Better now.
Is it better? Maybe I was too far away when I was talking.
That is better, John.
You're saying that's better. Okay, well, I guess I have to be within a certain range of the mic then. Okay.
John, have you tried out Walmart yet? You said you were going to try out Walmart with your prints.
Yes, I did, Marge. Now, what I did the last time is I ordered some prints and I didn't want to go to the store and pick them up from all the people handling them and everything. So I said, mail them to me. So the example I'm talking about is I had the prints mailed to me and they looked pretty good. I was just getting 4x6s and 5x7s with that high luster finish. And I think they just call it matte when you're ordering, but it is a luster finish, which is similar to what Sam's Club had. And yeah, I was pleased with it. Now I'm going to place another order, but the first order looked okay.
And the 5x7 is the largest?
That's what I ordered. Was the 5x7 was the largest. I was just ordering smaller prints, trying this out. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I was doing.
All right. Thank you.
What were you thinking about doing? What's on your to-do list?
Well, mine is, I go to MPix is what I use, but there's times when I just want to get it, you know, in down here at Walmart, but I know that in the past I've had problems with Sam's, and I was just wondering what it would be like with Walmart. So I guess the best thing I could do is just order in a couple of prints and see.
Yeah, that's what I did. Now I did, this was probably several months ago. It's before all this coronavirus thing started. I did do an order in the store and I was pleased with those as well. Then we got into the coronavirus thing and I says, okay, just mail them to me. Now, the problem, because I was only ordering some 4x6s and some 5x7s, mailing them added another $4 to the price of the order, and they took about, I would say about 5 days to come before they arrived.
Okay. Thank you.
Which Walmart did you use, John?
I
One
used
up here in Delmont?
The one in Delmont, yeah.
I tried to use them. I tried to have a 16x20 printed there once, and the color and everything looked okay, but boy, I'll tell you what, they didn't handle the picture very well. It was all bent and had creases and.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you. I had ordered some 16x20s. That's right. My brain cells are waking up here. Thanks. I ordered some 16x20s because I was getting ready for some stuff for our show at the Latrobe Arts Center. Mm-hmm. And when I went to pick it up, I agree with you. The color was fine. The finish was fine on the print, but they had trimmed it all wrong. It's not because I think I had ordered a 12 by 16, and I was putting a larger image in there. And I wanted a white border on it, and they didn't do that. They trimmed it right down to the image. And I
Right.
said, I showed them what I sent them, and I said, this isn't what I sent you. And they reprinted the whole order while I was there. And again, I'm satisfied with the quality, but no, I agree with what you were saying. You have to be specific with them of what you want.
Yeah, it's
or
probably
it's not gonna
best if
work
you're
out.
right there watching what they're doing.
Yeah, because the first time they said, pick it up, I got an email. I says, okay, I'll drive up, I'll go get it. And that's not the order. That's not what I wanted. And I told them that. And they said, okay, they threw them all out and they reprinted them all. And then when they were trimming, I could participate in how I wanted them trimmed. So,
Right.
but the print quality was good.
Is MPix pretty good? Because I've been considering using them myself.
I
Yeah,
like
and-
him.
Yeah, MPix is good.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good, Brian. How are you?
Oh, gee, that was a hard background for me.
Well, I didn't want
Is
to.
everybody,
Hi,
is
Jean, how
everybody
are ya?
using backgrounds using green screens? Because everybody's background looks so good.
Uh,
Hi, Jean.
adding pictures in. Gene, I want to say welcome and nice to see you there, bud.
Is that yours, Beth?
But no, it's not mine barking.
I bet that's my dog. Sorry. I'm having trouble with
That's all right, Suzanne. We can't even see you.
I know I'm having trouble with my video. Won't let me start it, but I am going to mute this so you don't hear my dog barking.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
You know, every time Suzanne joins the meeting, she has a different name. I'm not sure how she does that, but she's the one that I question every time I let her into the meeting. I'm like, who is this?
Well, I'm back.
You like
I don't
keeping-
know why my video isn't working. I had a little trouble even logging on. I'm not sure why. I got one name on my main computer and another one on my laptop. So, and
You
my
just want
dogs
to
are
keep us
still
guessing,
barking.
Suzanne. We know.
Yeah, that way you can't catch me. I'll continue trying to work on getting my video here. I don't know what's wrong. But at least I can hear everybody and see you.
That's
Cool.
all right. You just want to hide out. We know.
So,
No, I
today I picked the-
actually come here.
So for tonight's meeting, I picked a background that was obvious as to where it's at. It's just one of them places that I'm hoping that we get to go to this fall. I'm hoping that they have figured out, even if we all have to wear masks or if they require us to wear the plague doctor's mask, I would be fine with that. I just want to go to the front of the so.
Mhm. Oh.
So, Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay. Is this the night that you use your computer to show the critique photos, or is that another night? I can't remember anymore.
Well, we started doing that at the SWIG meeting
Okay.
last, rather than our monthly meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We may
But that
do.
doesn't mean we can't do the same thing tonight as well.
I was just going to say we may do a little bit of that anyhow tonight, just to fill up some of the time, because obviously our meeting tonight was supposed to be about posing, and I've got a couple videos that we can watch, but it's not exactly the easiest thing to do virtually. So
You're
I
not
did
going to
pull-
demonstrate?
no. No. I did pull a couple YouTube videos that I thought were pretty interesting. Margie, sorry, they are about posing people.
No, I already talked to Annie about that.
uh, So we'll take a look at those, and we'll take a look at some critique photos, and then maybe we'll figure out what else we want to do as we go along. I wish that we had. I wish that we could do this meeting in person because it would be a lot better. But it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do.
Hey, Brian, just a follow-up on your suggestion about the Reddit photo critique. It might have been Margie, but if it wasn't her, someone else had suggested that we start doing critiques of the photos that had been submitted the previous month for the photo contest. But I think that would be subject to the approval of whose photo it was.
Yeah.
Okay, we can take a look at those this evening then.
I'm good with it.
There was quite a few for last month.
That and
Yeah.
that and the people
good.
who have put their picture on and said that they wanted to be critiqued.
Right. And Margie, I did already put up a flare for the use of the photo critique for this month, so it's there, and I already posted a picture.
Oh my goodness!
I
I'm
saw
so
that.
proud of you.
For the photographer's choice for this month. I actually took some time Saturday in the evening or just before evening and went for a walk through Uniontown. And I haven't done that in a very long time, and I forgot that there actually is some pretty nice looking buildings in Uniontown. So I posted one of the pictures for that.
Great.
I was in Ohio Powell again yesterday, but I didn't have my camera with me. I was out playing with my tiny trucks. So, but it was a nice day. It was nice out, and there wasn't quite as many people as the last time I was up there. Beth, how long has it been since you've been to Ohio Powell?
March. I was there right before all of this started, I think.
Well, they've finished the tunnel already.
Oh, have they? Yeah, because
Yeah.
the parking lot was half the size as usual because the road was going right down through what used to be the parking lot when I was
Yeah.
there.
It is, but they do have the underneath tunnel finished now, and I hadn't seen
Okay.
that before. But the last time I was up there, they still had it a part where you could like see down into the tunnel. But now the road goes over top of it, and the road coming back out it still goes through the parking lot. But I was surprised.
There
I hadn't
she
been
is.
down there for a while. They've done a lot of work.
Tunnel under what?
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi. Figured it out.
Dennis, they built a tunnel that from originally where the boathouse was up on top of the hill above the main falls. Everyone was always walking across the road. They built a tunnel now that goes underneath the road. Get people to stop walking across the road, really.
Yep.
And I think it adds parking up above too.
Yes, they did.
I don't know, they were
There's
still
more
working on
parking
that
than there was.
couple weeks ago when I was there.
Oh, they're still working on it, but they've got a lot done since the last time I was down that way. So,
Yeah, yeah, they didn't have that. They had the road originally going up through the one parking lot, and now they have it just one way, the whole way around. Whenever I was up there a couple weeks ago, so.
yep. We're still getting a few
Hey, there she
people
is.
joining. There's Melissa. Marty just popped in. Here comes Gaylor.
Here's Dr. Bob.
Bob's in. We're up to 18 people right now, guys.
All right.
Bob, you're muted.
Marty's eating dinner.
Bob, you're muted.
There he goes. Gaylor's muted.
Okay, Bob, you can talk now. You were muted. I unmuted you.
Oh, thank you.
You want to say
Look,
hi?
Gene moved to downtown Pittsburgh.
Hello, Nate.
Hi, Nate.
Hi.
Hi, Nate.
So Bob's in San Francisco. Gene's in Pittsburgh. John, I'm going to guess, is at the Lake Tahoe.
Really a good guess. I was in the desert for too long, and I said, I'm going to go to Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
So,
Marty's in her tree.
Marty's in a tree. Dennis, I don't know
It's a
where
cool-
you're at. That's one I don't recognize.
I'm in the Adirondacks,
Okay.
state of New York.
It's a good place. to be.
Okay, Jim's at a castle.
Castle in Scotland.
Jim's back in Scotland.
Yeah, you're at I'm not sure where Rob's at. On a bridge somewhere.
That's a
Crazy.
It's a
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Bridge.
Bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge?
Brooklyn Bridge.
Cool.
Jim and DL should know where I am.
Oh, do you know what? Until you said that, I was not sure where that was, but yeah, now I know. Thank you for the hint. She's in a mist scent.
It's from Riven, and it's I don't remember the name of the island, but it's the one where the Warks are, but it's up around on the other side.
For those not familiar with mist, it's spelled MYST, and it's a computer adventure / puzzle game that came out in the early to mid 90s, and there's like 6 different versions of it that came out between like 93 and the early 2000s. They're fascinating to play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jim, did you want to show a little bit of what's going on Reddit for us?
I can try to do that again.
Actually, well, hold on just one second. I don't really have any business that I need to discuss. Does anyone have anything that they would like to talk about? Anything that they know going on at this point? I did see in the Sunday update there's some deadlines coming up if you want to be involved in a couple of the photo contests.
Oh, just for information, I'm not sure it's been in the newspaper yet or not. I think it has. The Westmoreland Arts and Heritage Festival was canceled for this year.
Yeah. Yep. I
Yeah.
seen that online.
yeah, I saw that.
That's a shame.
But they probably have to make a decision now, not knowing what it's going to be like in July. So
Yeah.
that's. Gene keeps moving around.
Now he went to a hospital. You would need help, and you're not telling us, Gene.
So the Latrobe Arts Center annual open show has a being held from June 1 through 30th. Registration is required prior to drop off on May 26th and 28th. So that's an open show. Anybody can be involved with that one. So if you want to do that one, your drop off is May 26th and 28th, but you do have to register. That was in the Sunday update. And Latrobe Arts Center's Mr. Fred Rogers show is September 1 through 30. Submission deadline is July 1. So that's coming up soon. And that one is I believe that's a jury show, isn't it, guys?
It
Yes.
is.
Yep.
Okay, so that one you got to submit to and see if you can get into it. So there's two shows that you guys, if anybody's interested in them, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to do both of them. I haven't done any shows for a while. I've got a few things I kind of like right now, so I think I might try both of those shows this year.
I might.
Brian, just a little clarification on the Latrobe Arts Center's open show.
Yes.
The registration deadline is literally the drop-off deadline. So it is an open show. They'll literally take anything. If you go in the prospectus to sign up, you do have to sign up ahead of time before you drop them off. And there's I forget what the fee is. It's like a $30 fee for up to 3 entries, something like that. So you register online and then just drop them off those 3 days, any of those 3 days.
Okay. Okay.
There is a chance that one will go virtual as well. So if you
Yeah, it does say that it will be
if
virtual.
you want to
if
submit
you need to.
photos, but you don't want to do it for virtual, you might want to hold off a little later before you actually sign up.
It's
Is there a
$35
plan to do
for
another show at
one.
Hannahstown?
What's that, Dennis?
Is there a plan to do another show at Hannahstown?
For us?
Yeah.
Jim, that would be a
Was the question, are we having one at Hannahstown?
Is there a plan to have one? Another one?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
Although actually, that I guess it maybe Annie's the one. And our next show is when, Annie?
November at Feathers. That's the only other show right now that we have scheduled. Feathers, because last year I thought we had a good turnout for the show down in Irwin, and when Irwin has a lot of things going on in the month of November, so I went ahead and booked us in there for this year for November. So Feathers is the only other show right now that we have going on for this year, with Latrobe being canceled.
They do a lot of stuff down there in November for the town of Irwin to try to get people to buy local for Christmas.
Right. Yeah, so November's a really good month. They have Irwin has a lot of activities going on in their town in November to try to bring a lot of people in. So it's a really good month for us to do this show. So I went ahead and booked it.
Okay.
So Annie, when you said Feathers, it was previously going to be the place in Jeanette. Is that no longer going to take place?
I never got us booked in Jeanette. I don't know where that came from. I checked into that, and the day that I checked into it, I went down there and I talked to the lady in Jeanette, and she was only doing shows for people that were involved with her, that were like members of her store or boutique or whatever you want to call that. So I never booked a show for Jeanette.
Okay.
So, because like I said, I looked into it, and that wasn't happening. She wasn't booking anybody that was outside of her group.
Their spot is kind of small. I know when I talked to them, they were talking about possibly expanding. There was a building right beside them that was for sale. Of course, that was this with the virus. So I don't know if that option is still on the table for them to do with everything that's going on or not. But I was thinking if they did do that, I might be able to talk to them for maybe next year when they start scheduling or something like that, if anybody was up for it.
Yeah, because you belong down there now, right?
Yeah, I've done some shows down there. I've been accepted in, and I do meetings with them.
I think it was my mistake in one of the newsletters that I put "You Are Here" last year. I think I've had that in there. I think that's where you're getting that we had one there, Jim.
Oh, thanks for clarifying that, because I thought I was going crazy.
No, I think it was a mistake on my part.
We talked about it being a possibility when Annie was trying to talk to her, but it just never panned out.
Okay, well, Melissa, as far as you talking to the people in Jeanette for next year, just a reminder, we do have a show booked at Latrobe Arts Center in the spring again.
Do you have a month for that, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a month set for that? Is that set for April again?
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure it's April.
Okay. Couldn't
I mean,
remember.
I can check for you, Annie. I just don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either. April's popping into my head, but I could be wrong. But I'm thinking that that's what we had.
I love how Morty gets up and the kids come and talk for her.
Gracie's gotta get in there for a minute.
I know. Sorry, folks. For a minute.
Hey, Gracie took over for you.
She did. She's my little helper.
Hey guys, just as a clarification, the open show at the Latrobe Art Center, which may or may not be a virtual show, does have a $35 charge for 1 to 2 entries, or $40 for 3 entries. Sorry, and that's for non-members. If you're a member, it's a little cheaper. Not much, but a little cheaper. So, just as
And you are here. They had a deadline of May 15th. They have extended their deadline till the 30th for their next show.
What's the charge for their next show?
I believe it was $10. And I think you can submit 3 if I think.
Check, because I've got that one up on my thing. So,
and if you're doing
up to 4.
Up to 4,
Up
okay.
to 4 for $10.
and that's considerably cheaper. If you're
Yeah.
doing the Fred Rogers show, it's $35 for up to 3 entries. And you can do 1 additional for another 5 if you choose to.
Okay. I might actually do that.
I was in a Fred Rogers show a while back.
Me?
Oh yeah, I was too.
You are.
You got into that?
A long time
Beth
ago.
and myself and Claire Kasmerick were in there last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't submit anything
Oh,
last year.
and Candace was too, although she wasn't a member at the time.
So hopefully we'll be able to do some of these, and we'll be able to actually go to some openings and go visit these shows and stuff. It looks like things are starting to maybe open up a little bit. We've all been turned yellow starting this week. I'm not exactly sure what that means, and I haven't found anyone that can totally explain it to me, but
We all got
we're yellow.
paroled.
What's that? I'm sorry?
We all got paroled.
Yeah, we got paroled. That's a good way of putting it, because from what I understand, if you make a mistake, you get put back in jail. So
I just know that my job is staying the same way it is right now.
yeah, you haven't.
Angie,
What's
did
that?
you work yesterday?
Yeah, nobody
Yesterday.
allowed in the store, in the restaurant yet. We had people this on Saturday trying to get in the doors. Oh, can't we come in and sit down and eat? No, you cannot. Not allowed. Mm-mm.
West Virginia is opening their restaurants and something else up on the 21st of May, but there'll be still a lot of guidelines, and only 25% of their occupancy permit will be allowed in the door and stuff like that. So, but they are stepping forward a little bit. If you want to go and sit down and have a dinner, you may be able to do that up in West Virginia with 3 weeks notice and state issued ID.
Yeah. Fake ID.
Yeah, because a friend of mine actually tried to go get her hair cut up there, and they asked her for an ID. When she showed them that she had a Pennsylvania ID, they told her no.
Oh, wow.
It can only be for West Virginia residents. Lots of
I've got a short restaurant story to tell. I got in the doghouse with Pat yesterday. We had received a gift card a week or so earlier for Sunset Cafe in Greensburg.
Yeah.
And Pat said, well, let's call early, put our order in. She wanted to do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, no, it's too early to eat dinner. So I waited until 4, and they literally shut down taking orders at that point.
Yeah.
They had so many that day.
We went to Olive Garden. We ordered at Olive Garden for lasagna for 4 o'clock. We went there and there must have been 60 cars ahead of us, and they were an hour and a half behind.
Oh my.
We
Wow.
can't-
I drove by Olive Garden in Uniontown yesterday, and when I went by, their parking lot was completely full.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a lot of people. I went by, and about 45 minutes later, I come back past it. There was nobody there. It was empty.
We all went home.
I think that they might have gave up. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We had Saturday night at one time, I had 72 orders of fries I had to get out. And we have one of our fryers are down. One of the guys burned one of the fryers up about 3 weeks ago. So we're down to 3 fryers. We got them out. We got all the orders out. Everything went out nice and smooth. So we're getting good at this.
Yeah, we sold 10 cars last week, and didn't talk to anybody. So that's pretty good. We're getting better at it too.
That's good.
Saturday we can go back to actually talking to people. So we'll see. Maybe we probably won't be able to sell cars that way. We've forgotten how. Okay, Jim, did you want to jump on Reddit there with us? And here's Rex. Let's see how to Rex when he gets in here.
All right, let me see if I probably won't remember how to do this, but hold on. Share scoring. Okay, can you see Reddit?
Yep.
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 My goodness, I did it the first time. I'm proud of myself.
Yay!
So, well, I tell you what, we might as well start at the top. Brian submitted this one a day ago, it looks like.
Well, that's for May's.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's for the,
Choice
I'm
then.
sorry, we cannot critique that one. Take that back. Thanks, Beth.
I was the Uniontown Courthouse, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Beth, you didn't ask for critique on this.
But that's okay. We can,
Okay?
I don't remember if we talked about it on the Thursday thing or not.
Do you want to give us a little background on this one?
I have no idea what kind of tree this one is, but it's in my neighbor's yard. And it's got pink flowers, as you can see. And I was out playing with a lens baby. This is the Velvet 28. And so it gets really soft and glowy the wider open that it is. And you can also get really, really close. So these flowers are probably maybe 1.5 inches across, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's probably at f2.8-ish, since some things are actually almost sharp-ish. So that's basically the background. That's pretty much straight out of camera, cropped a little bit, and that's it.
Great.
Speak up. Anybody have any comments?
Yeah, I like the soft background and the little bit of the sharpness on some of it, and the how you can see the center of the one flower. I just think it's very, very artistic.
That's what I was going to say. The flower in the upper right-hand corner there that has, you can see the center, it almost has a watercolor look to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watercolor.
I love the softness and also the shadow depth. I feel it looks real good. Two little things that I would like to see a little improvement on is on your almost midway left down on a petal there that is distracting, a little dark part of a stem, I guess.
Okay.
I would like to have seen that cloned out. But the stem itself seems a little bit too sharp, too distracting. I would like to see that soften up a little bit more. But
The
overall,
edge of a
it's
leaf,
quite
Margie.
nice.
That's actually the edge of a leaf, not the stem that you see on the right side.
Oh, it is the edge of the leaf. Yeah. See, that really could be softened up a little bit more, I think. But overall, I really like the effect that you have
Thanks.
created.
No, actually, I think if that leaf was softened up anymore, there just wouldn't be anything in that area. I think that leaf helps draw your eye up into the flower.
No, I would take it out altogether.
Beth, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think that's a dogwood tree. We have one. It looks, the flowers, the blossoms look almost exactly like that. Dogwood.
Okay. Because it
Even the
doesn't
same
look
color.
like the other, like the dogwood on the other side of his yard. So
Okay. But,
next time I
well,
see him, I'll try to ask. But
yeah. It looks like, I'm just throwing that in there. It looks like dogwood that we have in our front yard, right at the corner of the house. They also are very common in white. Is your other one white?
yeah.
Yeah. White and pink are the main colors.
Yeah.
I thought dogwoods only had 4 petals.
I think they do.
Okay.
So I think this
Okay.
is some version of a cherry, but
I was gonna say maybe a cherry or maybe an apple.
I don't think it's an apple tree.
Okay.
Because if it has any fruit ever, it's really small fruit.
Well, we have
But-
one apple tree that blooms but never seems to get any fruit on it anymore.
Okay, any other comments on the photo?
Yeah, it looks nice. That's great.
Thanks.
Whoop. Okay, I hit the interest thing there. Let's see what interest says.
There you go.
I don't see any matches. Wait, maybe this one here.
No,
Nope.
no,
That's not it.
No,
because that's more fluted.
yeah. Oh, well.
Hey, folks, I came in late. I have a question. Is this the new format we're looking at now? Brian?
New format of what there, Rex?
Zoom's new format of 5.0 something or other?
I'm at
No?
the, it shouldn't be different. I'm at the newest format that there is. I don't see anything different than last time.
Okay, well, I'm getting something that I didn't have before, and that is I'm getting an image of myself in the corner of your image, which is in the corner of the full screen. I was wondering, is there a way to kill that?
Oh, yeah. If you put your mouse over the pictures of everybody and go up to the top, there's different things that you can choose.
Well, I see I have 3 different choices.
It might be because we're viewing Jim's screen.
Right.
It does change it when we're viewing somebody else's screen.
Oh, wait a minute. When I put my cursor over it, I get the 4 arrows, the plus sign with the arrows on the end of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and see if that does anything. No, that doesn't. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't do anything to it. Okay. I'm done. I'm done. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I took a while to get in here. I had some problems getting in this evening, so I thought that maybe something had changed. So onward.
Okay, thanks,
My
Rex.
apologies. My apologies.
Okay, this next one is mine. What the heck did I do?
You're copying it. You're trying to
Looks like
just
you
click
selected a lot.
click the white part of the screen and just click the white part of the screen.
So this was taken sometime last month at Cedar Creek Park, and it's a bluebell. And Jim, I think, had given me some comments on it. The one struggle that I had that day is that it was extremely sunny. The trees had not leaved out yet, so there really wasn't any shade within the woods themselves. And it was a windy day as well. So my main emphasis as far as the camera settings were to get the shutter speed up so that the blooms look reasonably sharp in the wind.
I like where the light comes from. The key light is coming from behind. The powerful light is coming from slightly from the back. I like the way it lights the back of the blossoms. You can still see the detail in the front.
Could still be a little bit bright.
Yeah.
Have you done any post-processing on this, Jim?
Oh, well, it's a raw file, so yes, I did at least some, yes. As far as particulars, one of the comments was like the highlights. Certainly, those highlights that you see in the background were brighter than what they appear in this photo. I did try to tame them down somewhat.
Jim, did you ever think of using like a flash to compensate for the brightness of the sun? In other words, having on-camera flash and perhaps with a high-speed sync setting to kind of dim the background and light up the subject?
To be honest, Bob, I didn't think about it. I don't think I've ever even tried that. So have you had success with that?
You know, I've tried it a couple of times, at least in my backyard, and it does help. I mean, you tone down the background and then you use the flash. Well, first of all, you have just like we did in the when we had that demonstration at St. Vincent with the portrait where we blackened the background and then we used the flash to light up the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use that at times to kind of bring down the highlights of the background, but light up the, get the first settings without the flash. And then the second time around, use the flash and perhaps with a high shutter speed, use the high sync setting on the flash, on the on-camera flash.
Okay, I'll have to learn how to do that. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, there's some YouTubes on that kind of highlight, how to use it, especially in settings like this where there's a lot of sun.
Can I ask?
Hey, Jim, you're on the call, aren't you?
Yeah, I think my audio is working today.
Yeah, I can hear you. So rather than me tell them the one comment that you made, I would like you to do it, and it had to do with the overlap of the foreground and the background.
Oh, okay, yeah. I tried to critique this. That's one of the first things I've critiqued on here. So I tried to touch on a couple of things, and the one thing that I noticed was just the if you were to step just a little bit, maybe to the right or something, just to separate the bluebell plant on the right from the one in the center of the photo, just to isolate kind of the main, I don't know, bloom, flower. It's not really a flower. I'm not sure how to describe it, but the main subject of the photo.
Can you see my cursor on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, that's where he's talking about, right in there.
Good point.
Right.
It would also move the in focus stuff more to the left.
What was that, Dennis?
It would move the in focus flowers more to the left.
Yes.
Well, yeah, depending on how I recompose, but I think the importance there is to get separation between that.
Oh, no, you would.
Yeah. And Dennis, to be honest with you, as far as the position of the main bloom there, I kind of wanted it where it is, if you will.
Mm.
I did not want it centered in any way, but I didn't want it any further to left either. I kind of wanted it over on that third line, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I'm suggesting you could be more to the left.
Oh, more. Okay.
And as Jim suggests, separate the in-focus flowers on the left from the out-of-focus flowers on the right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was the whole point of his comment.
Easy to say in retrospect.
Yep. Anything else?
I like the shape of the flower.
Yeah.
So the bluebells are really pretty, obviously. There's literally a forest floor full of them.
Yes.
Down in that area. It's the Gorge Trail of Cedar Creek if you haven't been there before. One of the other photos I took, and it doesn't do it justice. I tried to get the entire forest floor with a bunch of them, trying to get an angle where it looked like it was a lot of blooms. Was not real successful with that, to be honest with you.
Did you try getting on your knees?
I was almost on my, well, no, I didn't. These grow probably about 2 foot high. I was down. Let me put it that way. Yes.
Okay, you were bending down.
Yeah, I tried to get it where I was kind of horizontal with the tops of the flowers, but it just just didn't work out for me. Okay, we will move on.
Can I ask what f-stop you were using?
Well, that's interesting because one of other Jim's comments was I think it was 5.6 maybe. And
yeah.
Pardon me?
I believe it was 5.6. Yeah.
5.6. He wanted me to actually stop it down a little bit further. I forget which. I had my zoom lens. I forget what it was zoomed out at, but I was concerned that I wouldn't get enough of that main bloom in focus. And I've had problems with close-up flowers like this before, where I know sometimes you want just something in particular to be sharp and the rest to be out of focus, kind of like Beth's flower that we looked at previously. I wanted the entire bloom there to be in focus.
Well, the reason I was asking is Bob was mentioning about using flash, but if your f-stop's too low, sometimes that really starts to blow out the photo because you can't get the shutter speed up to where you need it to be because your camera and your on-camera flash, you can only go to like 250 max on my camera. So I would have to have a higher f-stop so that I'm not blowing everything out. That's why I asked.
That's why Bob said the high-speed sync, and although I don't use it, I'm not familiar with it, but that allows you to take your shutter speed up higher.
Right. In other words, you could use whatever f-stop, and probably this, you could probably say the 5 or whatever 6, and then increase your shutter speed beyond the range of the camera, beyond 250 is for my camera. So you go up to 500, whatever, but as long as you have high-speed sync on your flash unit, then you could increase your speed on your camera.
Melissa, what camera do you have?
Yeah.
Come on, 750 Nikon.
Yeah.
Okay. With your 750 and the correct flash, if you did a high-speed sync, you could go up to 0.004 of a second in your syncing.
Right.
So your shutter speed wouldn't be that big of a concern. With that being said, and that would also, as Bob said, by using that, you could get that black background. But I don't think that Jim was looking for a black background with that particular picture. But I do agree with the other Jim is that we need to get that little bit of separation between the two on that one flower because that does distract from that picture.
Yeah.
By the way, Jim, I thanked you when you submitted the comments. He was a little reluctant. He said that was the first time he's ever critiqued a photo. I would suggest you go in and see how in-depth he did on this photo. I commend you. Hopefully you keep up with it.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. Here's, shoot.
Didn't we critique that next one already? Or no?
Oh,
on,
There was a similar last time.
Soda Falls? Yeah.
Oh, we
Similar
did.
shot, same person, but not that one.
Oh, not this photo?
Nope.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
This is Alan's photo. Is Alan on the call? Well, he asked for a critique, so even though he's not here, we might as well still take advantage of it.
Alan's here.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, there he is. I do see him. Alan, do you want to give us just a little background on the photo?
Is his microphone on?
Alan, we don't hear you, bud.
Nope. Okay, anybody have any comments?
I like it. The only thing that bothers me on the right, that first tree seems a little bright. Maybe if that was darkened a little bit, it's a little bit distracting. But I think the movement of the water looks pretty against the rocks.
Yeah, I don't know whether the trees are vertical, straight up and down or not, but I would I would crop out that tree on the right and try and straighten the trees so they're vertical. Other than that, maybe try a little sharpening, or I forget what the Lightroom clarity, I guess, is the other control I would try in Lightroom.
I agree with Taylor on that.
I'd play with the contrast a little and try to bring out the midtones a little bit more, bring the highlights down a little, and a little bit more detail in the shadows. Because there's, especially in the foreground, right next to the really bright water, there's a really dark shadow. And it looks cool, it's got a neat effect, but a little bit more detail in the shadow would be kind of cool for a landscape photo.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you say, Beth.
Yep.
I might be inclined to crop some of the left off, but then I would hate to lose this rock that projects out with the eye in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's a cool rock.
Sitting there. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I think the highlights need to be brought down, and the shadows.
Yeah.
If I was working on this picture, I wouldn't bring all the highlights down as much as I would bring the highlights down that are in those trees on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you do an overall highlight drop, it's going to lose some of the stuff in the rocks and in the water that you don't want to lose.
Right.
So I would brush in a drop-down highlight through the trees on the right-hand side. As far as the trees being a little bit slanted there, Gaylor, I'd leave them alone. I don't think I'd straighten it, because then it would, if you straighten those trees, it's going to turn your waterfall sideways.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I would like to see a little bit more pulled out of the shadows. So if you were using Lightroom and you brought your shadow detail up a little bit, and just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit out of there, I think would make it pop a little bit more. It's a good shot. I like, and I'm a big fan of soft water. You guys know that. I don't like water.
Right.
I love soft water, so that automatically makes me like the picture. So, but it's a good shot. The water comes right down into you. You know where it's going. You know where it's coming from. I like it. I wish I could hear I wish we had some sound there. I don't know if you got it sound fixed or not, but I'd like to know where it was.
It's about Yoders.
I like the photo in this
Johnstown.
landscape position.
Yoders,
I'd probably also try to do a portrait version of this thing. I'm not sure it would work or not. But I think I'd want a version portrait just to see what it looks like.
I was actually thinking the same thing, Jim. I was kind of curious where that water was going after toward the bottom where the water splits on that little rock. It like kind of wise off. I was kind of curious, a little bit over to the right or to the left, I'm sorry. Bottom, little right there, like where that goes. I'd be curious to see like if it splits off and there's another rock or something too. Like a portrait might be kind of nice, but it could be nothing too.
I'm kind of curious about the black spot up from where the cursor is now, 45 degrees to the right. There's a black spot there that, yeah, right there.
It's a rock.
I'm wondering if that's a little rock projecting out or what in the world it could be.
Yeah, it looks like a rock.
I do have to say, I like the position of the camera that is in the plane of the upper rocks, of the middle area rocks. So you in effect get the effect of two waterfalls, the one up above and the one down below, even though you can't see the water in between. I kind of like that.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on. Brian, how much time do you want to save for the videos you've got?
Go ahead. I'll tell you when we need to stop. I need probably about half an hour, so we got a little bit more time.
All right.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yep.
It figures.
Go ahead and tell us about the whole background on the photo then.
Well, Brian, I heard you asking about it. That's right off of 219, just north of Johnstown.
Okay.
There's I can't think of the name of the creek that runs along there. Stony Creek, I think. It's a big, huge, 50 feet wide, 75 feet wide. I heard some of your comments. The brightness in them trees, the sun popped out just as I would hit the shutter. Was one of them deals that everything works against you. But they are on an angle like that. There wasn't anything. I used the virtual horizon and the camera is straight or level. So the trees are just growing that way.
Then I wouldn't touch them with the Lightroom.
Okay, thanks.
Other than that, I was watching, trying to figure out how to get onto the audio, so I didn't get to remember all the comments.
I always have a question for pictures like this. Were you standing in the middle of the creek to get that position?
Actually, I was. I had my hip boots on that day.
Ah, okay. Good for you. It was worth it.
And this is recorded, so if you check Reddit by probably sometime tomorrow, it should be on there. You can probably scroll through and just watch that section.
Yeah, I usually.
Oh, I could hear you. I just couldn't talk.
Oh.
Yeah, I usually try to get them posted up after the meeting later this evening, so by tomorrow morning it'll be up.
So, Jim, are you okay if we take a shot at your cherry blossoms on the Allegheny photo?
Sure, I would love it.
Let me tell
And
you.
by the way, for those of you who are not aware, this photo won our April photo challenge.
When I saw this, I was really down and it was raining outside. It was just nasty and I'm just so tired of the virus. And when I saw this, the first thing that came to me was I felt good. And I'm looking at this more as a feeling than a technical critique. But those cherry blossoms and the coloring you have here and the reflections, I absolutely fell in love with this. Even though, as all of you know, there's no tree trunk showing, and you know I always like that tree trunk. But I don't care because of the way this made me feel. It should have been named Hope, because this is what I'm hoping for, a future, a beginning. And I forgot about everything else that may need to creep because of the picture itself and the way it made me feel.
I know there's no tree trunk, and usually that's something we need added so that that tree looks like it's got somewhere to go. But I think between the tree and the background of the Highmark building, it gives it a nice balance for the top part with that bridge.
Yeah, and it frames the bridge. You know, if you look at it, it just brings you through the picture. It's just, and it's sharp.
Yeah.
I think that should be on a magazine cover somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, I want to let you know, too, that I was on Facebook. Somebody else took the exact same photo.
Oh,
It was almost from the same spot. I saw the same photo, and I thought of your photo right away when I saw it. I was like, somebody copied you.
I've been going down almost every year, and this year I actually saw probably about 6 or 10 people at any given time taking pictures while I was there, and it was the most I've ever seen. So it doesn't shock me that somebody had the exact same spot.
I wish there was some separation from the right side of the bridge support and the tree. They touch a little bit, and I would like to see them not touch.
I agree with that too. I was so concerned. If you look on the bottom right of the photo, there's like a little pole or something.
Yeah.
And it's a lamppost. And I was trying to hide the head of the lamppost behind the tree. And I was so concerned with that I missed the right support on the bridge. But I agree with the separation. I wish I would have had that, but I was trying to hide that so much.
Yeah. Easy in retrospect.
Yeah.
I like the way the tree forms right along with the bridge upright, or not upright, but the bridge support.
Right.
In the same kind of a line ways, you know. I'm using my hands and you guys can't see a thing.
Yeah, I'll point, Brian.
Yes,
the lines are parallel here.
Perfectly. I like that. I think that really adds to that. It just brings that tree right up around to the bridge. And now I go down the other side and right into the city.
Yeah.
And
Right along with that, Jim, maybe next year, if you take your pruning shears with you, when it's dripping down, just take that one off there and it'll perfectly go up through there.
Yeah, make a few adjustments to the tree next time.
On the lower right side, that flower on the tree that is untouched is a good feature.
Hey, Jim, regarding the bottom of the photo, Margie started off the beautiful, by the way, I love this photo as well. Something tells me it would have been, if it was possible, it would have been nice to have more of this reflection of the bridge in the photo, but something tells me that this shrub that's in front here, you probably couldn't go down any lower.
You're absolutely correct. Yep. Unless I was on like a little ladder or something and it could get up, but yeah, no, that turns into like a path, and I'm actually standing on the edge of a planter doing this, and it all turns to shrubs, like cement and concrete down below. So I agree with that, but there's nothing else really there.
It's a nice photo.
The picture is so nice overall.
I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But what's unique also is that there's nothing on the bridge, no traffic, no pedestrians, which kind of brings us to our time factor of what we're going through right now.
Yeah,
the solitude, which is kind of unique.
Yeah.
What time of day did you take this at, Jim?
This was in the morning. I started around 7:30 and I finished up around 9, just doing different shots, waiting for the lighting. This one probably would have been around 8:30, 8:15, somewhere around there in the morning.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that the buildings in the background are kind of a hazy, so it lets the bridge and the tree just pop right out from the picture.
Yes.
Jim, I was going to ask you, I think in your comment when you submitted the photo, you described the shooting conditions, but is this a composite, do I recall?
This is a 3-image composite. Yeah, I had it on a tripod and I just varied it just slightly. I don't know if it was about a third of a stop, something like that, or a third of a third of a stop, something like that. It wasn't very much. It was very subtle. But the issue I was running into was the tree was just slightly darker than I wanted. So I correctly exposed the tree in the first frame and then just did, like, I don't know if it was like -1/2 or -1/3 or something like that. It might have been even 2/3, but I used that to make the composite to kind of balance it out just a little tiny bit more. And then, of course, after I packed up everything, I had the exact lighting that I wanted, but I was pretty happy with it.
Your exposures were a 20th of a second, a 40th of a second, and an 80th of a second. So that's a total of about 2/3 of a stop. So really, it really wasn't a lot, as you said.
Yeah, it was very subtle.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay, nice shot, Jim.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, Marty, you okay for us taking a look?
Marty?
Is Marty still here?
She's coming back. Jim, if you want to hold on to those April ones until the SWIG meeting, just go to another critique one.
You said
It's up
it's
to you.
another one.
It don't matter to me. It's up to you.
I don't know if we have any that we didn't. These are all the photographer. Oh wait, oh wait, we did Suzanne's at the last meeting.
You didn't do
Yeah.
Penny's. That was it.
You can do mine.
Oh, okay. Which one in particular, Annie?
I'll do the first one. Pretty in pink.
Get a little half of it left at least.
Don't everyone talk at once.
Danny, how'd you take this one?
What the heck did I post on there? I think that was I had a 28-70 lens. Let me look here. ISO 100, 70 millimeter, f2.8, 1/2000th of a second.
Was that natural light on the blossom?
Actually, no. I added a little. There was light on it, but it wasn't quite that much. I did do a little bit more lighting and lighten this up a little bit more in post-process in Lightroom. I wanted to single that bloom out, and it was kind of a windy day. That's why the 1/2000th of a second. So, but I liked the way the flower was, and the way I got it with the stem going from one corner to the other. I think it helped draw your eye in. But I wanted to try something a little bit different. So that's what I came up with. I wanted a softer background and just that flower pretty much in focus.
Well, it's really pretty. It's very artistic. That one flower does lose some, well, it doesn't lose much detail, but on my computer, I would like to have seen you just, clone in a little bit. Yeah, right
You mean
there.
the petal?
Right there.
Okay.
Got some detail in it that I think that you could have just cloned in a little bit so that it doesn't lose detail. It's a little bit too bright is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right in,
Yeah, where his cursor is.
right, yeah, right where his cursor's at. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah. And the precision of that flower is in a good position too.
Thank you.
Annie, my initial inclination was to lighten up the upper petals of that flower like you did in the center of it. But the more I look at it, the more I really like it the way it is, because it's almost like there was a ray of sunshine or something coming down in it, just accidentally lighting up the center of that flower and taking it and sticking it as the center of the picture.
Yeah.
View.
There are just a few spots here and there that I would have went ahead and made a little darker, burned it in or something, because it just almost looks like light bulbs in behind.
Yeah, there's that spot behind it. I would have liked to have darkened up a little more down there on the left side, just to, like, where the blue is, it's still bright blue a little bit, just to bring the spotlight center onto the flower itself, because that background, it's catching me.
Okay.
And there's a petal right there on the left-hand side that looks like it's a lamp. If we could get, yeah, there, yeah.
Crop that out.
Yep. Or you'll even have to crop it out.
Crop it.
Probably would have been okay.
If you look at this picture, I have it on my iPad, so I expanded it just a little bit to look at it cropped. If you, Jim, if you would take and run a line straight up and down just to the right of where you're at now, go over a little bit more right there. Crop that section out. Now go to the other side.
Make it a portrait.
Right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Crop straight up and down there. And
okay.
That light those two lights, every time I look at this picture, my eyes want to turn left and right at the same time.
Mine too. Mine too. It's like light bulbs.
And like I said, I have the picture up on my iPad, and I expanded it just a little bit to remove those two lights out of that picture.
Yep.
And it's a totally different photograph with those two bright spots out of there, and it becomes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
I think it increases the niceness of this picture 100% by removing those two bright spots. Try that crop on your computer and see if I'm right.
Yeah, I can do that.
And that might even take care of the brighter blue that's in that bottom left there too.
It does.
Now you can put your hands up and sort of crop it with your hands, and you can see exactly what Brian is saying.
Yep.
So I can put a piece of paper up there too and do that. So
yeah,
you can.
Again,
no, I agree.
It goes back to my old saying. Remember, look around the outside edges. That's not exactly on the edges, but it's still out there, and it's a distraction from the main part of your subject, which is your flower. If you make that crop, I can guarantee you that you're going to love that picture even more.
Okay.
I know.
Like I said, it was. Now, like I said, it was something a little bit different for me. I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I wanted to go for like a, I don't know, I guess in a way it was kind of like a, I don't know if you've seen flowers done in a Japanese style. And I think that was sort of what I was going for that. And like I said, it was something a little bit different for me. I just thought I'd try something a little bit different, a little more artistic with my flowers. I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit. And do a few things differently. So, but thank you. I appreciate all the critiques, and I will go in and redo a couple little things on there and make the changes. And I like that.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Now we can.
Yeah, we
No.
just,
Hey, there you are.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was talking even before, but I didn't realize my microphone wasn't working. So I wasn't ignoring all the pictures. But Annie, did you do some type of vignetting on this one?
I don't think I put a vignette on it at all.
What's that dreamy look? That's just from the aperture?
I think a lot of it was, and then just a little bit in post-process, I managed to get that.
Okay, not an actual vignette. I do like it. I was just wondering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that my Jean? Is that
Yeah.
Jean?
Yep.
Yep.
I think
Oh,
so.
He figured out how to talk to us.
I've missed you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Jim.
Marty, are you back? No, Marty.
Hey, Jim.
Hello?
Oh, Marty,
Yes,
are you okay if we critique your photo here?
sure.
Marty, do you want to tell us a little bit about it first?
Well, all I see is white, so which one are you critiquing?
Pardon me?
No, I see it now. I just had a white screen, so it was like, which one are you doing? This actually is on my property. They just kind of put this plow against a tree, and the tree is growing through it. So it's part of the tree now. So I just said it was farming yesteryear. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool with the tree growing in it and the rust. I love rust. Don't ask me what my settings were because I forget. What else would you like to know?
No, just, that's good. Any background on it? So any comments?
I think it's nice. I really like that. I like old junk like this. And the green seems to just accent it. So I like the green in there too.
I kind of liked how it was growing up there, like the disc just went through, you know, and it's starting to grow. So yeah, it kind of just kind of fit the photo.
Hey, Marty, did you try it in black and white?
Yeah.
I remember if I tried. I tried one of them in black and white, and I didn't like it.
I don't think I got
You know what? There may not be enough contrast between the tree and the plow.
Black and white, and I didn't like it because I like the green against the rust.
I do too.
Yeah. This is one I wouldn't do black and white.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't think there'd be enough contrast. After I said that, I realized.
The green's too bright to be black and white.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the green the way it is. My personal
Your eye goes to the green all the way around, not to the center. Whatever you want the subject to be should be lit. And
Well, I thought that the disc was the center. I mean, I thought that was what was the main thing. And you sort of follow, you know, all the curves on up, and then you realize that the tree is growing in it. But I thought the disc was the precision of the disc and where it was and the green around it. I assumed that was the actual subject. So
I didn't do. I did very little post-processing. I kind of brought the highlights down a little because the background for that new graphic, showing you, can you see it? Behind the tree was too bright. So I kind of the highlights down there. But I think that's the only thing I did to fix this.
Jim, can you move the picture down a little bit so I can see the top part of it? I'm not getting the top part on my screen.
I think it just fills in. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's is the top part.
Yeah, that's all of it.
Yeah, so that's the reason I thought the disc was the subject.
It is.
Not the tree growing into the meadow.
Yeah, the disc was my subject.
Marty, have you ever tried to do this like almost like an abstract and zoom in where it grows into the tree, or the tree grows around it, I mean?
I did try to do that, but with all that thicket, I couldn't get to it.
That makes
When I went around the back, it wasn't very nice. I'm all about abstract. This particular way, the way the tree's growing in it, I couldn't get it. If you look down at the bottom, behind the disc there, you can see the tree roots kind of growing over top of the gears there. But the tree's kind of like growing up in between those tines a little bit, but it wasn't that, it's not grown in enough yet. Give it a couple more years.
I like the color of the disc too.
Anything else?
It definitely makes for an interesting subject, that's for sure.
I was just telling Bob, I think I'm going to get this one printed for our house.
So Ryan, do you want to take over now?
Okay, that is the top.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
I know it kind of throws you on the spot there, Jim, but thanks.
No problem. I didn't have to do much.
I love critiquing.
Actually, we're gonna critique one more photo, because while you guys were doing that, I uploaded a photo to Reddit, and I did it because Rex is here. Is he still here?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So I'm going to share my screen from Reddit as soon as I figure out what I did with it. Hang on a
It's like
second.
working in the dark room.
I have to get a Reddit screen. There it is.
Where's your video, Rex?
Oh.
In this picture, you guys should be able to see right about now.
No?
Oh, okay. There we go.
I took that one specifically with Rex in mind, because Rex likes his doors.
Can you put it on large? There you go.
How's that?
That's a good, Brian.
So
I'm leaning with it.
what are you leaning with?
My the door's leaning. It's
No,
leaning
it's
to the left.
That was my impression.
I was thinking the same thing.
Thank you. It's not my
You
glasses
look at
up.
the top, you look at the top and it's not vertical. It's not horizontal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I used all of Rex's tricks that he showed us the other night. And according to Lightroom, it's perfectly straight.
Yeah, but look at that grot line on the top.
I agree. And that's the reason I'm showing this, because I used all of Rex's tricks the other night and it says it's straight. And I say, when I look at it, it's crooked.
It is crooked.
Yeah.
So, hey, Brian, did you do I'm not sure what it's called. If you look at my hands here, a horizontal, like this type switch to it?
Yeah, swings and tilts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did everything that you can to make that thing straight.
And rise and fall. Yeah. There's also even though you can use the button that says all, there's also a
Guided.
No, it's not. It's not guided. It's a distortion. So you can still, it could still be straightened.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm going back into collection right now to see if I can find that specific one. But there is a distortion correction that also comes with that. That's where I'm going for now, right now, see if I can find it.
Lightroom?
Yeah, I'm in Lightroom.
Yep.
I'm just going to
Down
look.
towards
I'm
the
just going to look.
bottom. Somewhere
I'm just
down.
looking up
Yeah.
doors right now.
Oh,
Doors. And 142. Okay.
it's a nice picture, sharp.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Okay,
door.
let me see. I got them there. We
The
got
way
that.
the light is lit.
That's an expensive door.
Yeah.
Oh, there's all these townhouses all had very, very nice doors on them, but I'm looking for that specific one.
The
That
flag,
one.
Well,
the flag
Rex,
on the left side, it's a nice touch.
Rex, you're not going to find that door in your section. That's my photo.
Oh, no. I'm looking on my own, in my own group.
This is an attorney's office in Uniontown.
Oh. Okay. Fire away.
Yeah, Brian, did you try a perspective crop in Photoshop?
No, I only did this in Lightroom because that's what we were speaking about the other night.
Okay.
So I was attempting to do it only in Lightroom. If I put it in
Yep.
Photoshop, I know I could get it with no problem.
Yeah, okay.
But I was attempting the Lightroom process that we were talking about and that Rex was showing.
Well, all things considered, it's not bad.
Okay. It's okay, but you guys are all seeing the same thing to me, though. It's just a little bit off, but according to Lightroom, it's perfect. So
No, we need to have a talk with Lightroom.
I'm going to. When we get done here, me and Lightroom's going to have a discussion about this door. I'm going to work on it again. But overall, I was happy with the picture itself, and I was very excited about how my camera grabbed the light at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
And the flag on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The window looks
The
good.
reflection.
The reflection, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm done. That's all. I just wanted you guys to see that, and I'm working on Rex's projects. So.
You know, an interesting distortion is the 3 panes on the top left. You're not going to be able to distortion correct those 3 windows.
Okay.
So the world's tilted a little bit.
And the street itself is not level, so it's not a perfectly level spot to start with.
Yeah, I can see that. It goes downhill.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna work on that one some more. Okay. All right, so
for the bad part.
anyhow, when I was out the other day taking some pictures and I seen that door, I went, I've got to photograph that door specifically to show Rex. From our conversation.
That was nicely done.
So, all right, I got
nicely done.
Thank you, and I've got a couple other ones I'll be posting before long that I shot the other night too. Okay, so tonight was supposed to be about posing. Our original plan, as I stated at the beginning of the meeting, was to be able to actually do some posing and show you that happening in real time, in real life, and all that kind of stuff. And that obviously did not isn't possible right now. And according to you guys' chats, no, I'm still not going to do the posing. I've been reading the chats. Not happening. No, Gene. No. But I did come across a video that I thought was kind of interesting. It's not real technical. It's not all about needing to be perfect and all that kind of stuff. And it's a couple years old, but I think it's still relevant to what we're looking at today as far as pictures of people. And I'm going to show you guys that video here, and then we can discuss afterwards. And give me 1 second till I figure out what I did with it. And
Rex is coming and going.
Hello.
Beth, I remember taking a ride on that monorail or whatever it is that's in your background right now.
Yeah, that was the one that when you got on it and I think it was it was either right at the beginning or right at the end that you had to switch CDs back in the original version. So it's really cool that now that I have it on just one, that you just get to go right through. But I thought that was the coolest part of the entire game the first time I played it.
I remember that, yep.
Okay, here we go, guys. Oh, crap, I forgot to do something. Hold on a second. Let me come right back to that. I always forget to turn on the audio so you guys can hear it. Okay, do you guys see the video, YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so this was, the title of this video was Posing Tips for Normal People. So instead of posing tips, which I watched a lot of posing videos, and almost all of them were dealing with a professional model that already knew what to do. And this is supposed to be for a normal person, so they're supposedly dealing with a girl that doesn't know what to do. I questioned that just a little bit after looking at the photographs, but I thought it was kind of neat. It's only about 8 minutes long, so we'll watch this one. And then maybe we can discuss a little bit. We have a few portrait photographers on here tonight. Maybe they can chime in and say, yeah, that was good, or no, that was completely stupid. Okay, let's go full screen. You guys should be able to see that, and we're going to play.
This tutorial is how to pose a model that's not a professional. We get asked all the time, how do you guys pose your models? How do you guys pose your seniors, your engagement couples, all these different people? I'm gonna let Kirby take over. She's much better at posing girls than I am, and she's gonna show you guys a couple more tips that can up your posing game.
So this is our beautiful stand-in model, Morgan. She's actually our niece and doesn't have any professional experience, so I thought it would be awesome to show you guys how to work with somebody who isn't used to doing this every day. So she is gonna be our guinea pig for the day. An awesome way to make your model feel super comfortable is to play music. So we usually bring our Bose Mini sound speaker and connect it through Bluetooth to one of our phones. If the model has awesome music, we'll say, you can play it, or if most of the time they're like, I don't care, and we just put something on. So it makes it super helpful to have something in the background, which is just a really good tip to kind of like kill the awkward silence. We are at the top of a parking garage, and for posing, it's really cool to be able to incorporate part of your background with the model and the pose. So I'm gonna have Morgan sit up against this railing and then use her arms to kind of position above her head to make it interesting and not symmetrical, and then we're gonna go from there. And then cross one leg underneath your knee. Yep, just like that. So bring your right foot closer to your butt. Perfect. So if you can put your right forearm on your knee, just let your hand hang, and then loop your left hand kind of over your head on one of those beams. Yeah, perfect. Beautiful. So also bring your elbow in closer to your face. Love it. Okay. So another awesome way to make your subject look like a professional is to give them an action to do. So it's super helpful to give them some movement and direction instead of putting them in a stagnant pose and then just having them sit there. It makes it look a little bit more real and believable whenever they're moving. So I'm gonna have Morgan slowly walk up this ramp towards me, and I'm gonna photograph her as she does that. Even if she doesn't get it on the very first try, the awesome thing about photography is that you can do it 10 other times until you get what you want. So that's what we're gonna do next. So it's cool because the wind is blowing this way and catching your hair and not blowing your hair in your face, and the sun's behind you so you're not blinded, so this is perfect. So walk super slow towards me. Does that jacket have pockets? Or what if you did like thumbs in your belt loops or front pockets, or yeah, just so you have something to do with your hands. And then I want you to smile and either look at your feet or look kind of off to the side, so not directly at me. Okay, so go ahead, go slow. Perfect. Beautiful. So I'm gonna have you do that like 3 more times. Something that people often forget about posing is facial expressions. So instead of always concentrating on what to do with arms and legs, it's kind of important to remember how to direct people's smiles, serious face, eyes, expressions in the face. So some of the things that we're going to do with Morgan, who's sitting behind me with some close-up shots, are how to direct her face. So a couple of really cool hints are if you bring the chin down, it automatically raises up the top eyelids in your subject's face and makes their eyes open up really bright and wide. Also, just telling someone to smile sometimes doesn't always work, so making them laugh is helpful, or telling them to shake their face out and start over, and it kind of like makes their cheeks relax and to re-smile. And serious faces can also make people look really angry, and that's not exactly what you want unless that's what you're going for. So instead of doing angry, serious faces, having them do a smirk or a soft smile just to where the corners of their mouth are lifted, even if their teeth aren't showing, can be really helpful too. So that's what we're gonna go do. So a little tip that helps make people feel a little bit more comfortable is to kind of give them some distance. So right now I'm shooting with a 70-200 lens, which is awesome because I can get really far back and zoom in and still get close-ups without making her feel like I'm all up in her grill. You can shoot with a wider angle lens or a prime lens, but it's better to work up to that and make sure that they know that you're going to be in their face and they don't feel like you're encroaching on their bubble. So it helps to give them a little bit of space. Cross your ankles and then make your knees a little uneven. Yeah. And then hands in your, like behind your hair. So like on your neck on one side. Yeah, that's perfect. And the other one can just kind of hang. So these are going to be head to like shoulders. So you don't really have to worry about your feet or anything like that. Yeah. So we can start with a smile. So now we're combining 2 of the previous tools that we've already singled out before. We're going to do close-up still and have her focus on her expressions and then add movement into it, which is what we did earlier, and then get some really cool shots of both of those 2 things together. Perfect. Got it. Awesome. So the last important thing to remember whenever you're posing is not to panic. So whenever your gear starts going haywire or your brain is in other places, it's hard to remember or to come up with new poses. So I think that the most important thing for me that I remember is to kind of have a safety net pose. So for me, my safety pose is leaning. You can always lean on something no matter where you are, whether it's a fence or a wall or a door or whatever. So we're in a corner and it's not really the most like beautiful place because we're at the top of a parking garage, but if you have someone lean, it can become super flattering, and we're just gonna get really cool, pretty sky colors behind her. So I'm just gonna have you face this way towards me and then lean both of your elbows back on that railing behind you. Yep, like just casual leaning. You can even do one hand if you want. I'm gonna be down there. Yeah, so whatever feels more comfortable, and then either cross a leg or just make sure your weight's all on one foot. And then serious face and look up the stairs for me. We just had an awesome time photographing with Morgan. She did super amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like we always say, we don't know everything, but we're always super happy to help share the little bit of knowledge that we do know. So like, subscribe, support, all that fun stuff.
And we'll see you guys next time.
The end.
Okay, guys, what do you think of that?
Nice. I like that. I like seeing that.
I liked it. Hmm.
Like doing the shoot in the parking lot with that kind of industrial look to it in the background.
I like how she was just using, as far as the light goes, she was just using a regular speed light with a softbox on it. So it makes it nice and easy to get lighting where you want it. Gene, what do you think?
What?
So what did you think of the video?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not into portraits anymore. I don't do people anymore.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Not at all?
I mean, no, I liked it. It's interesting.
One of the things that I liked about it was a couple things actually. One was the addition of movement into the portrait. So, like when she had her sitting there and rubbing her and taking her hand and running it through her hair. It's something that, from doing portraits over years, it's something that I never thought about doing. Is actually having, because almost always we say, okay, stay still, don't move, stay just like that. Let me take your picture. And here she's telling her, go ahead and move. You know, run your hand through your hair and stuff like that. And or walk up towards me and stuff like that. So that was something that I picked up that was a little bit different, that I'm going to try the next time I do some portraits with somebody. Because I think it just added a different aspect to the picture. I don't know. I just kind of like that idea.
But her movements weren't fast. It wasn't like she was just running her hand through her hair real quick. She was moving. What's up, guys? Welcome back. They could capture it.
Her motions had to be kind of slow, though, to keep the pictures sharp, right? I mean, she couldn't have been moving too fast with her hand.
No.
So that has to be some type of training. Because back to your point, Brian, and maybe she wasn't as unprofessional as they let us to believe. She seemed to have kind of the motions down and the speed.
Yeah, I kind of got that after watching the video and then looking at the pictures and that. I kind of got the feeling that she wasn't. I mean, she may not be a professional model, but I think she's definitely had her photograph taken before.
She's probably the one they always went to take pictures of as she was growing up.
Very good possibility, yes.
Plus, she's a teenager, and that's what teenagers are doing these days.
Again, another very good point. Yes, it's not like the teenagers don't take pictures of themselves 10,000 times a day. But I did like that. The other thing that I liked was when she had her sitting down. She sat down next to her and showed her exactly how she wanted her to pose. And I think that it's something that I've seen in other videos as well, where the photographer gets into the position to show the person what they want them to sit like. And I think that's something that we can kind of forget to do when we're dealing with people, is to put ourselves in that position and show them that, yeah, the position is possible because I just did it. And especially me, if I can get down on the ground and get my legs twisted around like that to get back up, we've done really good.
One thing I thought was interesting was she was shooting with such a long zoom lens. Is that what people normally do? I usually shoot 70 to 105, something like that. I don't have a long lens like she had.
Well, most of my senior portraits over the last 6, 8 years maybe have been shot with an 80 to 200 lens. Yes.
Yeah, same here. 70 to 200 all the way.
Yeah. I've found that, like she said, it puts you a little bit further back away from her or away from the person, which does let them be a little bit more comfortable. You're not up in their face. And it also, that 70 to 200, you start shooting that guy down in the 2.8, and I mean, I shoot a lot at 2.8, but when you start shooting in that lower aperture numbers and getting that blurred background, it really makes a beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice lens.
So I got away from, I know for years, and Rex, you can chime in here, but for years the portrait lens was a 105, or a 135. That was it. I mean, that's what you used, and you used that all the time. And then you see a lot of photographers now saying, oh no, you got to use a 35 millimeter. I've got another video that says, no, you don't use a 35 millimeter because everything that's close to it gets big. Unless, of course, you're trying to make something close get big. And she goes into information about that. She's a boudoir photographer, so she's trying to make certain things be bigger.
One nice thing was that.
What's her number?
But just to she had the subject look down instead of straight at the camera, and I thought that was a nice concept to not have the portrait be facing on flies to the camera, just facing down or to the side, just a different angle to add a little bit different perspective. So I thought that was interesting.
Right, and I think I know some of you guys remember a few years back, Paul and I did a talk on portrait photography then and now kind of deal, and we showed some old style portraits and what people are doing now. And that is something that people are doing now. Is we're not getting portraits that are looking straight into the camera with a big smile on your face, and we're incorporating different things and different backgrounds and stuff like that. And I do like that fact that portraits have moved away from the old cheesy look at me and smile pictures, and looking away from the camera and out of the picture, and all these things that you can add to it, different elements like movement and stuff like that, I think is a really nice direction that portrait photography is going in today's photography world.
Well, can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Because I'm not getting an image coming up for anybody. I just get the name. I don't know what, I've got another setting problem going on here, but regardless, what I can say is I was thinking about what we've done in the past, listening to this and watching this video, and I thought of a couple things. One, they may have touched on this, but watch, if you're doing a session, when we did sessions, we learned in the PPA training and WPPI, watch your own expression and watch your tone of voice, things like that, especially with children. It's got to be in your nature to be friendly to the little ones. That's one thing. So watching your own expression, and sometimes you can feel like you're doing the right thing, but when you look at yourself in the mirror, you realize what somebody else is seeing. If you give an instruction to move your arm or your hand a certain way, and they don't do it the way you want, you might have an expression on your face that just scares them, shuts them down. Anyway, I wanted to get away from that too. One of the things that I always like to start with is it doesn't matter whether they're sitting, they're standing, you always start from the ground up. Start with where the feet are going to be at the end of the exposure. Where are the feet? And another thing is the toe. One toe always facing towards the camera when, especially doing female seniors. Another thing is a long time ago, I can't think of his name right now, but he said, if it bends, bend it. And what he meant by that is to keep a person from being stiff, where one arm is straight down. Give a little tilt to it. At the knees, give a tilt at the knees, ankles and toes. That's another one. Close-ups of the face came up, especially for females again, but it can apply to males too. And that is when you're doing a 3/4 of the face, the nose, the tip of the nose should not break. It can. All of the rules of photography are made to be broken. But generally speaking, you expect to see that the nose does not break the line of the face. In other words, you can't see that nice curve of the cheek if the nose breaks that line. Last thing was I have a collection on Flickr. Brian, I don't know if you can get to it in this short a period of time, but there's some, I think, some very good examples. It's on my Flickr site, and it's in the albums section, and it's in the seniors and models gallery. And I have quite a collection, and if you want to critique them, I'm happy to take any kind of suggestion that would have improved those pictures.
All right, well, maybe we can save that for another night. We're getting close to the end of our evening for this evening.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I'll look that up and have that available for maybe our Wednesday night meeting this week.
Okay.
So we can, that'll give us something to take a look at as we're having our talking session.
Yeah, can you access the images on Flickr and then just link them to your session?
Yeah, I'll be able to show them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll get them looked
I'll be
up,
sure
right?
to be there. Okay.
But anyhow, I thought that was a pretty decent little video that gave me some ideas that I hadn't thought about in portrait photography, and some things that I'm going to try the next time I photograph some people.
The one thing that I was looking for in that video and I didn't see was a discussion of the lighting. Like when they showed the picture, the softbox was the primary lighting area.
It was more about posing though.
When she first started taking pictures, she was shooting directly into the sun. And especially when she had her walking up the ramp, there was the flare from the sun was actually in the picture. It was the primary interest of the picture, which was totally ignored. But I guess it's about positioning as opposed to the final photograph.
Yeah, we could discuss the lighting and get into probably hours of discussion about lighting and stuff like that. But this particular video was more about getting the pose than the actual lighting. But using that single light with probably a high-speed sync is what most likely she was using to get just that little bit of light to add into the background light to fill in her face and stuff like that. Other videos that I've watched and things that I've tried, that works. And that's most likely what she was doing. I like the fact, like Annie mentioned, that it's just a single light with a softbox on it, and it was no big expensive $3,000 studio light. It was a
speed light.
So, you know, a lot of times we put a lot of emphasis on equipment, and most of the time it's not necessary. We can do the same thing with cheaper equipment, which was what I picked up from the light, was that it wasn't an expensive light. It wasn't a pro photo or, you know, something like that. It was just a speed light. And that's something that we could talk about in the future as far as how the lighting that they used either there or in other portraits, you know, and stuff like that. All right.
What was their name for the video?
I'm going to post a link to that video on Reddit.
Okay. And
I'm also going to post a link to another video that I watched that was pretty good about posing women. And the lady that's there it's a video from Creative Live. So I didn't want to show it on this because sometimes I get in trouble whenever I post these to YouTube. They yelled at me for the one that DL gave me the other day for Art All Night. I got yelled at for posting that to YouTube as part of my video for a copyright infringement.
What?
It wasn't a bad yell, but they did yell at me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We got.
Did you make any money, Brian?
No, that was the yell that they told me I wasn't allowed to monetize the video.
Exactly, and you were not.
Yeah. So but so certain things I'll be careful with. And the creative live video, I'm not going to put that on here, but I will post a link to that on Reddit so you guys can see it. Because I thought it was a pretty good video on posing as well. So I'll post both of those links up for you guys all, for all of you guys, I should say. Now I do have a question for y'all. On our schedule for outings in June 13th to be exact, we had scheduled a trip to Mill Creek, Ohio. Now that is a pretty cool place, and a few of us have been there a few times before. But my question is anybody, or would anybody be interested in doing that, knowing all of the situations that we have in June, on June 13th?
What's at Mill Creek?
Mill Creek is a big park out in Ohio. There's a place there with a huge flower garden. There's a large grist mill with waterfalls. And it's actually a very big park that I thought was a lot smaller than it was until Annie and I went out there one time and took a ride and ended up driving through the park for like an hour, and I didn't see everything yet.
Yeah, Brian was very surprised when I took him through the whole park, and he had never been through the whole thing. There's not only is there a waterfall at the mill, there's another waterfall further down. There's a creek the whole way through. There's a very, very nice metal bridge that a lot of people, whenever they get married out in that area, they use that bridge as for a lot of wedding photos. And like Brian said, there is a huge botanical garden at the top of the very end of the yeah, there we go.
This is just a image search for Mill Creek Park in Ohio, so just so you can get an idea of.
Yeah, there's a covered bridge there too at that third picture on the top there, Brian. If you click on that one, yeah, it shows there's a covered bridge in the background. So there's a covered bridge besides the mill and the waterfall, all in that area. See the covered bridge back in the yeah, right in there. So there's a covered bridge in there. There is, and then like I said, the metal bridge that's right here on the third row down. Well, it was on the third row. Yeah, third row down. Suspension bridge right down there. Yep. It's really cool.
Botanical garden too.
Yeah, the botanical gardens are huge. They have tulips, and they have a rose garden in there that got every color of rose you could just absolutely imagine in there. Gazebo. I mean, what's that?
I'm sorry, how long of a drive was that again?
It's straight off the turnpike into Ohio. It's like the first exit in Ohio. So maybe an hour, 15 minutes. Like
from Youngstown, as I recall.
So
it's not as far as Cleveland or anything like that.
No. This is it's actually Boardman, Ohio.
Okay, cool.
Boardman, Youngstown area, because those two are like side by side. So it's Boardman, Ohio. It's like an hour and 15 minutes from like the Irwin exit of the turnpike and straight out the turnpike, and I think it's the first exit off of the Ohio turnpike.
Okay, and this is June what?
13th?
This would be scheduled for June 13th. And again, I am putting this out there to you guys. I'm not saying yes or no at this point. But I want your guys' opinion as to whether or not you would be interested in doing that, knowing what we know about or what we may or may not know about the coronavirus.
I'd feel more comfortable in July. Not only that, but we had a late winter, and our plants are not really up to where they should be right now. And with the botanical garden, which we would probably like to go to, July will get them just blooming. You know, your perennials should really be blooming nicely in that time. Because like I said, we're still having freezes right now. which has set back a lot of our plans.
Okay. So, and that's what I'm just looking for comments now, right now. I'm not going to say yes or no, we're definitely going or definitely not going or anything like that. I just want to see what you guys' opinions are while I have a.
Well, we'll know more about it in July too.
I'm kind of on the fence. I'd love to go, but we still got the virus to worry about. So I kind
Right.
of play it by ear and see what happens.
Is it open now, Brian? Is it open now?
Well, Ohio is opening Ohio is opening most of their stuff up within the next week to two.
Okay.
I know their businesses and stuff like that are opening up as well as their restaurants and that by the end of May. So that's the reason I'm talking about something that would be in June, possibly.
Yeah, I'd like to see if the coronavirus starts, going up with everything open.
Well, that's really a good point, Margie, because you got to watch and see with everybody opening up what it does. If it continues to tail off, then it's a good indication. If it spikes back up, well, this is going to be a longer term problem than a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we would be interested in going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm looking for is how many people, knowing if it was tomorrow, would you be interested in going?
No.
No.
Yes.
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 Well, actually, it's an open
You're right.
open environment. No crowds. So I
Hey,
think
sir,
the corona risk
I
is
have a
pretty
question.
low.
Right.
I think
No
I'd be
question.
interested, but I don't think I would go.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a park fee?
No.
No.
Okay.
And we were going to Presque Isle in Erie.
We have been up there a couple of times. Yeah. A few of us. Yeah.
There's one scheduled later there this year, isn't there, Brian?
Yeah. We actually have that scheduled for August.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Never been.
So I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of gauging some interest here at this point. It's a month away at this point. I know things are starting to open up, and I do agree that maybe we're going to pay attention to what's going on and see what's going on. I'm not going to put anybody at risk and say, let's go do this. I may say, I'm going. If you want to come, you're welcome to come. But if it's an issue, I'm not going to make it an official WPS event, put it that way. But I'm just kind of getting some feelers out there for what you guys are thinking as far as that goes. I do agree with you. We need to pay attention to what's going on and see how things go over the next few weeks to a month. This is about a month away as far as what we originally scheduled it. And there is nothing that says we can't push that schedule back to the end of June as well. I mean, that's the reason I'm saying, would you be interested possibly? There's nothing that says we can't take that and say, let's make it the end of June and see. That's a month and a half away from now. That gives us a little bit more idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
And again, Margie, I have no problem with moving into July either. Everything that we do at this point is going to be based on what makes the most sense for everybody involved, and what their rules are. We're not going to do anything that breaks the rules of what we're being told to do. But as things kind of open up, and if it seems like it's doing okay, then I do want to try to put something together and us go do something. And something more like this, I think, would be a better first project for us to get out and not have to be exactly, we're not in a classroom, we're not in a room with a whole bunch of people. We do have the ability to be out and about in public and keep our distances and stuff like that, but still go as a group and have a good time. So I'm just thinking out loud and ahead of time to see if you guys would be interested. But that's where I'm at. I just wanted to bring it up and kind of get an idea what you guys were thinking about.
Well, I can tell you. Go ahead.
I just have to be really careful what I do and where I go with Daniel being here.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, even if it's on a Saturday, I may not be going.
And I agree 100%. Anything that we decide to do from here on out will be 100% up to everybody here. I'm not going to, of course, everything we do is, no one's required to do anything here. This is just a group of people about photography. But if you participate in something that we have scheduled, that will be your decision to do that, not mine.
Because
But
even,
when I have a group of enough people that say, yes, I want to go do this, then we'll schedule some stuff.
even if school starts in the fall, I'm kind of wondering if Daniel will even be going to school next year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree. And everyone has their own situation and their own thoughts and their own feelings and everything about it. And I have, I won't say one bad word about anyone that says, nope, I don't feel comfortable going. We talked a little bit about this the other night, and I had to end the discussion because we were getting a little heated.
Yeah.
But everyone has their ideas of how they want to move forward from here on out. So,
Yeah.
And some of you guys I know have been out taking pictures, and Annie's called me a couple times and said, "You want to go?" And I've told her, "No, I'm not going."
Yep.
I went out with anybody. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about that. I'm not saying that if we go, we're going to all ride in one car. We may take, if we're 18 people going, it may be 18 cars. I don't know at this point, but just trying to start thinking ahead for the group and see what you guys are thinking as far as that kind of stuff goes.
Well, I was going to say, I like the idea because we haven't been anywhere or done anything except go on a quick shopping trip and home. So this would be the first time that we actually went out and did something like that. So I like the idea, given that it will be possible to do it if things open up. So I like the idea. So you got my vote.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm just gauging some interest, and I will take everyone's advice and everyone's thoughts into consideration. And once I get some information, we'll have a officers meeting, and the officers will talk about it and see what they think, and we'll make the best decision we can for the whole group. But there's only one way to do this, and that's to at least start talking a little bit about it. So
hopefully by then we can go buy Lysol. We can all spray the insides of our cars.
just please don't spray the black cars with Clorox, because I'm not going to give you anything to spray.
No, not gonna do that. Lysol.
The tie-dye.
Anyhow, I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm trying to get an idea of what we may or may not be able to do. Things that would be an outing for us that would have put us all in one place and in a tight-knit group, they ain't happening. I'm telling you that right now. I'm just not going to do it. I will not be the person that puts our group in harm's way the best I can. But things like this, here, a trip up to Presque, that is something that we can do as a group and still maintain our 6 feet away and on our social distancing, but still have fun at it. And those are the kind of things that we're going to look at that we can possibly do as a group and not get ourselves in any kind of issues.
So you're telling me, Brian, telling me I'm going to have to stay in the very back where we keep our cameras while you do the driving?
Actually, I bought a little enclosed trailer. I didn't buy one. I'm going to buy a little enclosed trailer, and Margie, you're welcome to ride in there.
Thank you.
Is it open?
Nope, it's an enclosed trailer.
It's enclosed.
No sunroof.
It's an enclosed trailer with no sunroof, and I may or may not give you a candle. We'll see.
All right, I'll bring a flashlight and book.
You have to strap it down.
Yep.
Jim, maybe you can attest to this. I don't know, but has the Westmoreland Parks canceled our September picnic at this point?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so as of right now, we have a picnic scheduled for September. A lot can change between now and September.
Mm-hmm.
We may all still be in lockdown. We may be in a new lockdown. We may be in a new country. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but like I said, I'm just kind of looking forward to things that we might be able to do and again, anything that would put us at a risk as a group, we're not going to do unless we, as a collective group of people, say yes, we're willing to do that. And again, that's all going to be based on what we know and what we're learning as we go along. So,
I think it looks like an excellent destination, Brian. And, you know, I may end up there by myself and with my wife, but in a group, I have to agree that's a no-no.
right. And the reason I'm saying like the Mill Creek group, I think we could do that and still be able to stay away from each other. It would be the same as being there, walking past somebody that's already there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It wouldn't be, like I said, the carpooling may not happen. But you know, we could all go out there and take pictures and have a good time and not have to be too close to each other. You know, no closer than we would be to some stranger that's walking down the street.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to move around up there. A lot of places that you can be in one place and taking a photo. Somebody else could be in another place taking a photo, and you won't be on top of each other. It is a huge park.
Yeah,
It's a very large park.
I can attest to the last 2 weekends. Yesterday and last weekend, I was in Ohio, walking around, getting outside. I have to get outside. I mean, you have to. I'm sorry, but you have to go outside and do a little bit of walking around and enjoy some sunshine and stuff like that. So I chose to go up there. And even though there was a lot of people there, and there was a lot of people there, on the trail, when I came across somebody, everyone that I came across gave you your birthway. You got your room to move around.
Yeah.
Either I stood to the side of the trail and let them go, or they stood into the side of the trail and let me go. Everyone was very courteous of what was going on and keeping their distances. So I don't feel that there's a reason we can't go out as a group and do the same thing, keep our distances and be courteous to one another. But again, you know, if Ohio is closed down, I'm not going to say let's go to Ohio, because that doesn't make any sense. You know, or if we're under if we go back under the red version of our life, I'm not going to say let's go, because that wouldn't make any sense. It's all based on what we're allowed to do and what we're told to do and what is safe and what you guys think you would like to do. But again, I'm just trying to get some ideas of what you all think. I don't think that a trip to Pittsburgh is a good idea right now. Sorry, Dio, I know you're down there. But you know, I'm not sure that that's a good idea. But something into an open park like that, I think may be something that we can do. And again, it may not be in June. We may move it to July. I don't know. We're just going to play it by ear, but I just wanted to get an idea of what you guys were thinking about or would be interested in doing. So, okay, I'm done with that question. Any comments or anything that we need to address?
Well, it sounds good to me. I miss our photo walks. So thank you.
Same here, Brian.
No, I'm getting ready to put it down.
What was that? I'm sorry, Bob. I think that was you.
Yeah, same here. I would go.
Okay. All right. And again, I'm gonna pay attention to what's going on and the rules. And you know, if Ohio goes back to a situation where they don't want people out, we're not going to go to Ohio. You know, we're going to do what we're supposed to do, and we'll pay attention, and we'll make a decision closer. We're a month out at this point, so we don't know what's going to happen over the next month.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll kind of keep it in mind as things go along, and we pay attention to what's going on.
You mentioned Ohio Pile. Was it shut down at all earlier than before this last weekend when you were there?
No. Ohio Pile is a state park, and state parks were not closed other than their restrooms and their buildings were closed.
Oh, okay.
The parks themselves have never been shut down.
That's a problem. Restroom.
Well, that could be a problem, is not being able to go to the restroom. So again, that's something that we got to pay attention to and kind of look for. I'm not going to go on a trip an hour and a half away and no one be able to go to the restroom, because that's not going to be a good idea for any of us.
extra pair of pants and you're good.
I got a roll of doggy bags.
It depends.
And, and if we're out in the woods, there's plenty of trees to get around. But and again,
This is not San Francisco, Brian. You can't do that.
There's a lot of stuff to consider, but I want to start considering it so that we can make an informed decision and see if it's something that we can do. If not, we're going to continue doing what we do. We're going to, we got this Zoom. I like it. It works well for us. I'm not going to schedule any meetings as of right now until we all feel comfortable going to a meeting. We're doing fine with Zoom.
Yeah.
Even if tomorrow St. Vincent emails me and says, hey, you guys want to meet? You can be here next month. I don't think I'm going to schedule that meeting yet. I want to be comfortable I want everyone to be comfortable with what we do. Right now, I know you guys are all comfortable sitting in your living room or your computer room or whatever room you're in, and we can at least get together and talk and have a conversation and go over some stuff. So,
yeah, the one thing I wish is in these meetings, if people would share photos. I wish 1 or 2 people per meeting might share 6 or 8 or 10 photos.
I like that idea, and just like you did the other night with pulling up your black and whites and showing us those photos, that was great. I absolutely agree with you. I would like to see that, people sharing photos. And they don't have to be.
If you're going to be a photographer and photograph, the ultimate result is what you put in front of people, whether they like it or not. And I think it would be a super idea to get people to start to share some photos.
I agree. I agree, Dennis. That's a good idea. What do you guys think? Everyone agree to that?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yep.
Good. All right.
Eden Park.
Yeah.
Virtual Eden Park.
Virtual Eden Park.
Drive through the drive-through.
Yep.
Mike Park in Uniontown has a drive-through.
Yeah, they put one in. They put a drive-through in, and the one in Youngwood too, or New Stanton too. So you could drive through, get the food, and sit in the parking lot.
6 feet away.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Eden
Youngwood.
Park, any of them.
Eden Park.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have to make a pie and have a piece of pie. Zoom.
Anybody willing to make some cherry pie? They can all send a piece of cherry pie around to each one of us.
They have pumpkin pie that Eaton Park does.
Well, guys, I appreciate all of you coming out to the meeting. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day and hanging out with us at these meetings.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you pulling it all together all the time and working on the agendas.
I know it's there's a lot of things that we could be doing and a lot of things that we could. It's nice for me. It's really nice to sit down and not think about other things and enjoy some time with you guys. And I miss all yous. I really do. I miss getting together and meetings and stuff like that and their outings. That does bother me. I miss that because that's important to me for this group. So I do thank y'all for at least hanging out here with us.
Yep.
Go ahead, Annie. Go ahead.
No, I miss being close to everybody too, going out and doing stuff. But they've been out and just driving around. Just so like Brian said, I called him a couple of times. I just jumped in the car and just to get out of the house. I had to get out of the house. It was the 4 walls were closing in. So, but
yeah, when I go up to Ohio Power to play with my tiny trucks, as you guys know, I have. I go with a friend of mine that I work with, so I'm with him every day, and I'm very familiar with him. I consider he would be about the same as my family, as far as I'm concerned. Me and him are very good friends, and me and him go, and I feel safe with him, and we go up and hang out and spend 2 or 3 hours playing with our trucks unless one of us breaks down, which yesterday was his turn. He broke down yesterday. But it is nice to get out with somebody and do something, and I would very much like to, in the very short future, maybe go out and do some photography with somebody. I was out Saturday by myself around town, and of course it is really cool to walk around a town and there'd be nobody around. So that was a little different. Usually there's people everywhere, and if there wasn't, but I do miss that as a group, as us being able to get together. And
I'll tell you what I miss is sunshine. This
Yeah,
rain
that
is
too.
almost every
With
single
you, Margie.
day. We get one good day a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
After this weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to rain.
Brian,
Right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, T-storms.
It'll be warmer.
We do have Wednesday. It's supposed to be decent.
Yep.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Rex.
yeah, before we close off, I don't want to interrupt anybody and how we want to sign off, but before I signed off, I wanted to ask you about the way this Zoom's been behaving for me. All I've been seeing is either a name or your still photo. Now, does anybody else see people? I don't see anybody. All I see is print.
I
No,
see.
All I see is
everybody.
Yeah, I see.
okay. All I see
And we
is
see
when
you.
someone talks, like, okay, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll go ahead and say it. I've kind of been through everything that I can look at, and I can't figure out why I only see either myself or the person's name who's talking. So I cannot figure out how to get into any settings that will change that.
Rex,
Are you in control?
No, I cannot control video from my side. The only thing I can control is audio. I do not know the answer to that, but it could be as simple as needing to have restarted Zoom.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that in the meeting.
Yeah.
Restart the computer.
Yeah. It could be a restart on the Zoom, and a restart on a computer would fix that.
Okay.
I'll do a little.
Rex, it worked last time, right?
Yeah, this is as a matter of fact, at the beginning of the meeting, I could see you, Dennis. I could see everybody else too, Beth and Melissa.
Yeah, and it also, Rex, it also could depend on Zoom reacts to bandwidth use.
Oh, okay.
And if you're getting a little bit lower bandwidth use, it will start to turn features off to keep you in the meeting. And that is a possibility that's what's happened. I don't know for sure, but I know that it does that. It will shut video off. It'll shut you all the way down to just audio if you're having a slower bandwidth night. So that is a possibility as well.
Looking at Rex's video, it's a little bit blurrier than normal too, so it could be a bandwidth issue.
Because of the wine.
Really?
Yep.
Because last time I said it for, see, now that's another thing where it says more down there below in the taskbar where it says more. When I clicked on it, the only thing it says is enable video receiving. And if I click on that, it's gone. There's nothing.
Rex, have you gone into the, beside the little camera down there, the area, that you've gone into the video settings?
Well, yes, I can go. I've come up with the lower one says same as system. The other one says easy camera. And then the header at the top says select a camera.
Rex,
if I go to
go ahead. It's not an issue with your camera because we can see you. I do believe that it is an issue with bandwidth at this point, and it's probably just needing a reset.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When I did have control of it the last time, when I was in the settings and it gave me more options when I was in there. I had set it to HD, and I could see that the image of myself actually changed to a clearer, sharper image. And so did, see, like I see your truck right now, it's clean and clear and sharp. So I'm getting an HD image at this end, but I don't know what anybody's getting at the other end. Obviously, from what's been said, probably as it transmits out, it's
No, I
not
think you should
getting
get
the
rid of
same
that
output.
HD image stuff.
Yeah, I do believe, Rex, that your issue right now is a bandwidth issue. Well, everything that you're telling me is something that I've seen in the past when I've used Zoom for other jobs that I've had.
Yeah.
And had a slower internet connection at those jobs, that it would not allow the video to go through. But it allowed the audio to go through because it can send audio a lot simpler. But like I said, I think it's a bandwidth, but I think it's probably because you just need a reset. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna do an Xfinity speed check and see what's going on. But thanks for the help there, and you all take it easy.
Okay.
Take care,
Thanks,
Rex.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am heading off as well.
Okay.
Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Good night.
Melissa,
Take
you
care.
back to work yet?
I have to
I
go
went
get
back
Nate
on
to
Monday,
bed.
last week.
All right. See you, Beth.
That's what I thought.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Beth.
Nice seeing you,
Night,
Jean.
everybody.
Nice seeing you, Jean.
Yeah, Gene, it was
Really
good seeing
missed you,
Thanks
Gene.
for joining. We miss
Thank you. Thank you. I missed you too, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Missed you.
Missed you.
Wednesday night, Brian?
Yes, our next meeting will be our SWIG light meeting Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. I'll send the invite out for that, hopefully tomorrow instead of Wednesday. And we'll just get together and do a little BSing like we've been doing.
I like that you changed it to Wednesday.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I've been working Thursday nights, so
my job won't even give me a day off. I asked for this Saturday coming up off, and they told me no.
oh,
Wait, whoa. You said it's Wednesday is our Lightroom meeting?
Yep.
Wednesday is this Wednesday is our SWIG light meeting.
It's always the first Wednesday.
That
That
is
was
Lightroom. Listen.
I'll see y'all
Light.
Wednesday.
yeah. Margie.
Margie.
I'm waiting.
Well, okay, listen.
All right.
The SWIG light meeting, the one that we
Oh,
asked.
the light meeting, not light. Okay, thank you. And you went to Wednesday instead of Thursday.
Right, I moved that to
Okay.
Wednesday nights because I have to work on Thursday nights now.
Okay, so they're all going to be Wednesday. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 of those a month and 1 Lightroom or Photoshop meeting per month.
You're right. You're right.
Yep.
How that's going to work for now.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. We need to tell Carolyn.
I adjusted her email. She should have received the emails today for this.
Well, she found out where the promotion is, so that's helped a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and let Carolyn know that it's Wednesday now and not Thursday.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Hey, thank you very much. And I hope you all enjoyed the evening, and I'll see you soon.
Yep.
All right.
Bye, Marty. Long time no see.
All right,
Talk to you
guys.
later.
I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.